All right, be patient with me. Be patient with me. I just went live. You already know the routine. There's going to be a little chunk at the very beginning. A little tiny, itsy bitsy, teeny weeny little piece at the beginning. Where it's going to make me do a couple things before I could officially go like live. Like right now, technically, I'm live, but I'm not like live. You know what I'm saying? So just give me a moment right here. Couple moments, because this thing is taking longer than I thought. All right. Let's post this. Let's close this out. Let's go right here. Make sure that's all making sense. Turn that on. Again, I will clip this portion out later. You already know the routine. I have to do this all the time. You already know the style right now. You already know the format. It's quantity over quality. You already know that's how we get down right here. You don't got other MMA YouTube talking beanies that are like, oh, let me clip out this part. I'm so professional. Nah, but that's how we do it here because it's quantity over quality. At some point down the road, if we're able to switch things up, we will. But this is the mantra right now, all right? And we're not going to shy away from it. We're not going to be embarrassed because this is how we're able to be prolific. This is how we're able to do what we do as often as we do it. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what I'm saying, stick around and you're going to learn the language, all right? Just a moment. All right, here we go. And then I just gotta go, I have to make it officially live because I haven't done that yet. We're about to do that right now. And we are live. There we go. We are officially live now. It is official. It is 100%. How ironic. I'm having to watch my own ad before I could even get into my own video. It's hilarious. I love it. I hope it allows me to pay myself. Sometimes the algorithm's just a little bit too smart. It's a little bit too smart and it catches on. And it's like, you can't watch your own videos. You can't catch on yourself. You can't make your own self money. That goes against the grain. That goes against the machine. And I don't have my microphone. I've been talking this whole time without my microphone. And it's kind of okay. It's kind of okay because I was telling you at the beginning, for those of you who are watching the replay, see, those of you who come and watch the replay later on, you're special, all right? I want you to know that because a lot of people come in after the fact and they're saying, I'm sorry, Grandmaster, I had to work. My lady wanted to watch, she wanted to watch while you were sleeping with me. It came on Hallmark. My kids, I had to help with homework because they're in summer school. They don't behave. And I'm going to watch it right. Those of you right now, you don't have to feel bad. Those of you, you get those little nuggets. You get those little Easter eggs. That little portion at the beginning right now, these people aren't seeing it. Now, they're special in their own way. Kaimon, he's special in his own way. He's showing up here on the daily. He's tracking me. He's tracking me on my phone. And he could see when I'm en route. And he unlocks the dojo for me. He's special in his own way. Those of you that show up and watch the replay later, and you were like hearing me talk about how it's cool, I'm going to trim this out, I got to put this and that in. It makes me go live before I'm ready to go live. I want to apologize to you now because I was talking that whole time without a microphone. And I didn't even realize. What's up, Kaimon? What's up, Noah? ARJR721. Let's go. What's up, Rob's neighbor? David Flores. Jane Caulfield made it on time. And I'm talking fast today. Because I got to pack a lot of info in because I got to go pick up one of my kids in a little bit. Because apparently, Marilena's got a lot to do. Tell me something that I haven't heard. I'm not gonna validate that. I'm not gonna say tell me something I don't know because I don't know if she's busy. But tell me something I haven't heard. That's what I'm saying. What's up, Uriah? Y'all better be quicker than that. Audio's crazy, not trolling. What's wrong with the audio? Is that before I pulled the mic up? Is it okay now? What's up, Guru Sis? ZH Drums. I'm still catching up. I need a few days. I apologize. I've been very long-winded lately. I've been having a lot to say. You got me on. Kaimon's got me on the Truman Show. He's watching me on the. He's with the headset directing me. The low jack. That's what's up, Angel Padilla. GM text Kaimon before going live, in my opinion. Dang, it took us 3 episodes. By the way, welcome to episode 3 of All of a Sudden. It took 3 episodes for people to catch on to us, Kaimon. Even though it's been way many more videos before we officially branded. What's up? Yes, you don't know, I am able as a content creator to set the speed at 2x speed for you on your behalf. So if you were to set it to 2x speed right now on your own, I'll be at 4x speed. So I'm trying to pack in a lot of information today because I got to dip out of here pretty early. And I guess it kind of evens out because some of you do have to catch up. And I have been a little bit long-winded. And yesterday I streamed for almost like 3 hours, I think. So it'll balance out a little bit. I talked a little bit too long yesterday. I feel like Flores, David Flores. Marilena Bob is sliced that. Yeah, it's a touchy subject right now. It's a touchy subject. It was before. Okay, thank you, ZH Drums. I was nervous about that. I was hoping that's what it was. What's up, Lone Wolf? I'm okay. I'm going through a roller coaster in my life right now, but it's all right. And it's kind of not all right because I hate roller coasters like in real life. Like every time I ever been to like Six Flags or Universal Studios or Disneyland, I'm looking for the corn dogs. That's it. I'm looking for the corn dogs. You know what I did a couple years ago? I went to Disneyland a couple years ago. And I was kind of moping around because, you know, Disneyland is not my style. You know, that's not how I get down. And everybody was having fun except for me. And all I was doing was eating corn dogs. And I told Marilena, I'm going to treat myself. And I bought these shades right here. I bought these Lokes. I told her, I'm going to go buy myself some shades while you guys are riding the Incredibles for the 9th time. And I was walking around like 2 corn dogs in each hand. And I got myself some Lokes. And you want to know the funny thing? In real life, I 100% got these shades just to troll. Because when she saw me, because we went like a whole big old family. We went with like some relatives. And they know, like, I haven't worn shades a day of my life. I don't wear shades. I like to see everything, like, in real color, you know? And when they saw me wearing these, everyone just started cracking up. And they're like, what is that? Especially because of the kind that I got. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And I, like, never wore them since. I wore them one day at Disneyland. And I was actually going to try to sell them on eBay because I could use them. It was a stupid decision. But it was a couple years ago. I have learned from my mistakes. And I like really, really dark. Like if I'm going to ever wear shades ever, which I won't, I want it to look like it was painted on, like black, like Rolling Stones type of sunglasses. These ones, you can see my eyeballs, right? If you look closely, you can see through them. I hate that. I want it to be like, I want someone to actually ask me, are those real or are those a prop? Did someone paint those on? They're not dark enough. Jairo, Grandmaster, are you aware of the YouTube AI? Grandmaster, are you aware of the YouTube AI age verification nonsense that's going to infringe on our privacy? The UK and Australia are going chorro in the chonies, and now we have to suffer. AI age verification. Marilena's at Red Robin. Oh, okay. I don't even know where to begin with that. I don't understand what that means. Are you aware that YouTube AI age verification that's going to... Like, okay, so I'm assuming they're using that like as an open door. They're like, we just want to make sure that you guys are the right age and that everything's appropriate and that little kids aren't seeing stuff they're not supposed to, right? So give us this info and that info and this other info, and we're going to enable the camera so we can look at you and actually see your face while you're using it, and we're going to enable your mic so we can hear what you're saying and make sure you don't have a little kid voice. Is this something like that? Is this something like where they're really taking their liberties and like doing the unnecessary? Is that what's going on? Hey, Angel, she tried. That was the thing. She tried to cut off my power, but she didn't know. She was trying to do me like Rey Mysterio Jr., but she didn't know the magic secret. And I'm not going to reveal it right here. I think some of you could tell what it is based on what I just said, but I'm not going to tell her what it is. If she was so foolish that she thought it was the mustache, that's all I got to say about that. Hey, you're from Anaheim, Lord Racer? You might have seen me mobbing around with some corn doggies. Are you on one of those sites that sells personalized messages? I just realized I wish GM could be on my voicemail message. I actually am. Why didn't I post it in my description? I just enabled my Cameo last time. And I should have put it in my dumb... What an idiot. What if I go Mexican, martial arts, Cameo? This looks like a funky URL, but I think this will work. This is my Cameo. So you could go there anytime and just be like, hey, can you make a video for my brother? And tell him that I died, eh? And I'll be like, cool. Shoot me $20. 4 corn dogs from Disneyland probably set you back about $850. You are correct. That's why I have to sell my house now. You are correct. I'm still trying to determine if it was worth it or not. I do want to let you know, and I'm going to tell you, born and raised since 1982. He was born in Anaheim, and he was born in Anaheim. My last Cameo was so good, I'm going to need another one. Hey, isn't that? I remember that. We go way back. I remember that. My wife's calling. See you after. All right, bro. Be safe. Look, I'm going to be honest right now. I'm a little offended. I'm insulted, I'm offended, and I don't want to make a big deal about it, all right? I don't want to be a softie or anything like that. I don't want to go full John Anik on you, but I'm a little bit offended because nobody even mentioned anything. And I don't want to say what it is. But nobody even mentioned anything. And I don't even want to say what it is. I don't even want to talk about it. And I'm not going to be obvious and start looking for attention or anything like that. I'm just going to say in a very general and a vague fashion that I'm disappointed right now. I'm not angry, but I'm disappointed. Oh, thank you, Beto. Oh, thank you, Jane Caulfield. How nice of you to notice. Sounds like Paddy should go to beat KFC for real. So what's up, white people stealing your stuff? How we gonna fix this? Hey, bro, you know how crazy it is? How twisted some people are? I've seen some newbies popping up in my comments actually hating and saying that I'm delusional and that Chale would never steal from a soul. I can't believe it. I had people asking me for proof. Fool, I'm not going to dig through all my 4-hour streams and find all the proof for you and tell you the whole stories of Days of Our Lives and watching the soap opera stories with your grandma. I can't do that. We got poor Jane Caulfield out here combing through 91 hours of all of a sudden. And this people wants me to go do that homework for them? Thank you, ARJR721. Thank you, Guru Sis. Thank you. I appreciate you. It's lighting, but I'll take it. Quantity over quality. Quantity over quality. It came in the mail today. It came in the mail today, and I was so happy. It came in the mail, and I buzzed. Oh, my goodness. I can't remember the last time I received good mail. I can't remember the last time I didn't go, let's pretend that I didn't see that one. I busted it out. Hey, the quality's so good. The quality is, it feels like Pro Club. The quality is so heavy duty. I'm telling you. Quantity over quality. That's the mantra of the channel right now. It's like, you know how they got the blessed era? This is the quantity over quality era. What's up, Beto? Hey, I barely got here too. You staying in California? I don't know for how long. Oh, you mean like when I do this move? Yeah. Yeah, we got so many roots here right now. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that to the people around me, you know. Wait, what? Wait, what? What do you mean? Did you see Bisping comparing Tapuera to John Jones in the latest Believe You Me episode? Bro watching close with one eye. You know what? So that I don't lose my beanie, because I don't want to lose my beanie, I'm going to chalk it up. You know what? I for some reason, I could see the monitor better right here. I'm going to sit right here for a little bit. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to chalk it up so I don't lose my cool. So I don't lose my beanie. I'm not going to approach this like a wild man. I'm not going to approach this like Jiri Prochaska. Because I don't want to lose all my mojo in the first minute of the fight. I don't want to gas out. I don't want to get rocked by a cool, calm, composed, collected Khalil Rountree. I'm going to approach this like Rountree. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be mellow. I'm going to lower my heart rate like a ninja. All right? I'm not going to get upset. I can't make any more videos about this. I can't talk about this anymore. I'm just going to chalk it up to the fact that there's so little going on in the MMA world right now. That maybe it is that synchronicity. Maybe we're all looking at the same articles. Maybe these fools. No, I know that that's not true. I'm too intelligent to trick myself. You know how sometimes people talk about manifestation? And you got to tell yourself this. And you got to believe that. And you got to tell yourself you're going to have $2 million. You know how like when Jim Carrey wrote himself $1 million check? And I feel like I'm not that stupid. I can't trick myself. I can't tell myself, because I like gorillas, right? It might be my favorite animal. I love gorillas. And I can't tell myself, hey, tomorrow, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm going to be the proud owner of a gorilla. Starting now, I believe that. I'm going to be the proud owner of a gorilla. I'm not that dumb. I can't force myself to believe something. They say that. You got to walk around like if you're already a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. People don't even know it yet, but I'm a millionaire. I have $1 million right now. I think you have to be a psychotic, delusional type of person. Like, I want to get it. You could say, I'm going to work hard to get it. I'm going to be ambitious. But to say, like, I am this, I am that, this is the thing. I can't wrap my beanie around that. To be able to suspend belief like that, I don't want to live in that consciousness. I am a control freak. Maybe that's why I can't do stuff like that. Come to Chicago, Chi-Town. That's where you reside, Chicago? I would like the pizza. Isn't that where they shot Family Matters? I don't know. Are you in the suburbs or what? Are you in the city? Is there like a mellow, quiet, nice area over there? I grew up in Cali in the 70s and 80s. I now live in the Caribbean. Dang, you're crazy to not get out of there, homie. It's crazy. I know. I understand. I'm living in the valley of the beast. I understand. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. I go to Target and I run into Gavin Newsom. Trust me. Trust me, bro. I get it. Hold Hold on, brother. I'm watching the ad. Bro, I love it. I love it. I appreciate you. I love it. Hey, there's some of you out there that you're like, hey, you know what? I can't support, I'm having a hard time. And I'm like, hey, cool. I can't support any channels right now either. Hey, but if you have the time and you can watch an ad or two, there you go. There you go. The fake it till you make it is delusional to me. Yeah. So look, in the city I work right by the Family Matters house before they knocked it down. They knocked it down? That's messed up. Oh, man. Yes, carnalgas, if you would be so kind. All you got to do is just go like that. Just massage the like button. That's it. It's very simple. It's very simple, and it helps me keep doing what I do. Avon. That sounds like is that where they invented Avon? Is that like headquarters of Avon? Avondale? That's crazy. I never heard of that. So look, I want to talk, and look, I don't want anyone to be distracted. Before I start talking about the topic for today, I want everyone to know, because I know that's the only thing you're going to be able to, hey, my beanie's up here. Hey, everybody, my beanie's up here. Since you bring it up, if anybody's interested in representing the quantity over quality, I have a link in the description. I am moving to a new merch site. I'm not going to get into the drama. I'm not going to get into the details. I'm not going to get into the fact that apparently a bunch of people are planning to sue the company that I've been using merch for like the last 5 years, because there's a lot of problems going on right now and a lot of issues with actually getting paid. I'm not going to get into that. But if you want to go to the new store, I'm not on Teespring anymore. I'm on a site called Fourth Wall. I'm going to connect it with YouTube very soon. So you can see it all down here below my videos like you have in the past with Teespring. But now it's called Fourth Wall. And it's going to be in the description below. I'm moving over all my different brands and logos. It's going to take a little while because I'm trying to figure out how to put different colors and stuff. But little by little, I'm putting posters back on there. I'm going to put hoodies. I got t-shirts right now. Quantity over quality. That's the era right now. So I just didn't want you to be distracted. The whole time I'm talking about Paddy Pimblett, you're going to be like, yeah, but how do I get the shirt? How do I get the shirt, though? So I just wanted to get that out of the way. You're welcome. Hey, I appreciate that. I feel like it serves the purpose, I feel like it has its thumb on the pulse of the sentiment, what it's supposed to say. I think it makes a lot of sense. So, breaking news, Paddy Pimblett wants to fight multiple times in one night, 1990s UFC style. Now, look, I am starting to become a big believer in what we call synchronicity. And I used to think that was just a fantastic album by The Police. But apparently it carries a way heavier meaning than that. I can't talk about, somebody made a funny joke yesterday. I hope I could find it real quick. When I was doing the stream yesterday, and I was talking about, we were talking about the age of the earth. We were talking about, flat earth. We were talking about round earthers. We were talking about, I feel bad now. Because somebody said something hilarious. And if you're here, shout yourself out. But someone said something funny like Chale Sonnen and DC are going to be talking about flat earth and the moon landing tomorrow. And I thought that was hilarious. But it's getting a little bit exhausting to continuously tackle the topic of me putting out information and then it just being the absolute just the meat off the bone for the entire MMA community to chew on, after the fact, coming after my leftovers. That's not, I don't have the luxury to focus on that day after day. I don't want that to be my calling card, I gotta be more than that. But I have been talking about exactly what Paddy Pimblett's talking about right now. And if you've been on the ride with me, in a metaphorical fashion, because again, I don't get on rides. If you've been having these corn dogs with me, then you know what I'm saying. I've been talking about the open tournament. I've been talking about a multiple fight type tournament like in the old days. I've been talking nonstop about early 1990s UFC. UFC 1, 1993 minus BJJ propaganda. I've been talking about that for weeks and weeks and months. Catonius, quantity has a quality all of its own. Love you, GM. No FOMO. Bro. Did you just coin that? Quantity has a quality all of its own. That is beautiful. And if someone tells me that someone else coined that, like if Shakespeare or like Sherlock Holmes or someone quoted that, I'm not going to believe them. Thank you, Catonius. That is heavy right there. And I love how you put the dash, like the dude's name was No FOMO. Quantity over quality. Quantity has a quality all of its own. That's pretty sweet right there. I need to get myself out of this group chat. I'm telling you. We've been giving Paddy Pimblett a hard time. And some of it is through no fault of his own. He didn't just go crazy and jump the rails. I know a lot of people think, and it's a callback to the Epic Fighting Championship. Someone brought it up the other day. I know a lot of people are thinking, because maybe they weren't watching it, maybe because they just got caught up in the moment. Hearsay. A lot of people are assuming that Paddy Pimblett pulled a reverse Khabib. They think that he went crazy and just jumped the rails, just jumped into the cage and said, I'm going to do what I need to do. I need to cut my promo. But that's not how it happened. Joe Rogan basically sent him a postcard and just like as thoroughly as he could invited him up there to do his thing. Paddy Pimblett, he even kind of gave you mean like the night at the Roxbury, he gave if he was confused, maybe he was a little scared, maybe he was a little insecure because he hadn't started his weight loss journey yet. Whatever it might be, he did not look like he was prepared for that to happen. So he hops in there, and a lot of us, we take the initiative. This isn't the fight that should be happening right now. This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. So I feel justified. I feel validated in clowning on this fool. He should know better. He should know that this is stupid. This doesn't make sense. He deserves all the ridicule. So that is the mindset that we enter with. And again, it's really through no fault of his own. He's the one that got called up there. Now, after that happens, and once he's in there, okay, now he's got to sell it. Now he's got to pretend and he's got to play the part. He's got to be a villain. He's got to start talking about hand sanitizer. He's got to stand there and get pushed. Like when DC pushed Brock Lesnar, kind of weird, funky little push that backfires and makes you look softer than if you didn't even do the push at all that came from Ilia Tapuera. So he's already in there now. They already started that whole narrative. But everybody continues to say this is stupid. It doesn't make sense. But he just did something real smart. He did something like Dustin Gaethje's doing right now, like I just talked about last night. I said, we're all making fun of Gaethje. It's stupid. It's embarrassing. He doesn't deserve that fight right now, but he's a genius. Because everyone is saying he would lose. He's not ready. He's a rock'em sock'em punching bag. He wouldn't have a chance against Ilia Tapuera. But what Dustin Gaethje has now, what he has now is that he's going to go out like, dang, that fool really wanted Tapuera? That fool don't play around. I heard that he wanted John Jones. I heard that Gaethje wanted John Jones. Yeah, well, John Jones ain't even. Did you see that little chaparro? Did you see that little dude? In the article the other day, the ankle pick John Jones and took him down. Yeah, but Charles Sonnen said that wasn't a takedown. Charles Sonnen said that wouldn't have counted in any type of wrestling whatsoever. Yeah, but then a bunch of dudes on Twitter that actually wrestled debunked it. It doesn't even matter. That's not what we're talking about right now. Gaethje is a savage. He saw what Ilia Tapuera did to all three of those dudes. All three of those dudes. They were way past their prime. He saw what he did to all three of them. All three of those dudes that was handpicked. He saw all of those, and he still called them out. He still called them out. He's calling out the dude that he got knocked out to. He knocked him out to. How is he calling him out? He's a savage. I heard he was calling out John Jones. I heard he was calling out Aspinall. And that he's going to go out. This is the new mythical fighter that we were talking about yesterday. It's Dustin, hold me back, Gaethje. He's in the back of his mind, he's telling him, hold me back. And they're doing it for him. There's articles yesterday that were coming out. And they were talking about it. And I tried to cite them. The only two I can remember are MMA Flunky and BJ Up in the Pen. There's Bloody. It's like some British website. Bloody something. But they were all talking about the same thing. The UFC's trying to spare him. They're trying to help him. Dustin, hold me back, Gaethje, new mythical fighter. He looks like a savage now. He looks genius now. He's playing the part. And he's pretty confident that they're not going to give it to him because it doesn't make any sense. There's so many other things that make sense, and it's a business, and there's a lot of money involved, so he's playing the part. And now, Paddy Pimblett's playing his cards right. We already know Gaethje doesn't deserve it. Okay, now we got to whittle down. Max Holloway, stay in your corner. Max Holloway, you just beat a dude on his retirement fight. You just beat a dude where on that day he's saying, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. That's the dude you beat. And now you're calling out a dude that the other dude that you're calling out beat. And then after that, you want to use that as leverage to fight the dude that beat both of you. I can't keep up with you, Max Holloway. I can't keep up. Here's the problem. And I just realized this right now in real time. The problem with Max Holloway, oh my gosh, I'm a genius. I just realized right now, and it's like the realization that I had yesterday with Dustin Gaethje, how we've been calling him the highlight, and it's like, it doesn't make sense. This fool he's a bridesmaid, but it's not necessarily his highlight. Dustin Gaethje is on a bunch of other different fools' highlights. He's producing highlights left and right, but they're not necessarily on his reel. He's got highlights on Max Holloway's reel. He's got a highlight on Dustin Poirier's reel. He's got a highlight on Khabib Nurmagomedov's reel. He's got highlights all over the place. And it's the same thing with Max Holloway. I just found out what his problem is. And it's because he's such a big gamer. Max Holloway games so much. He has that respawn type of mentality. That dude is always respawning. You play Fortnite, you play whatever. I don't even know. There's too many games not to even come up with. They just keep copying each other. They just keep copying each other's IP and whitelisting it and rebranding and just making it look like something different, repackaging. He plays games so much. He's used to that culture where it's all good. I'm going to respawn anyway. I'm going to be back alive in 4 seconds. And then your homie comes up and gives you the med kit and you're back to life just like that. It ain't no thing. You just keep coming back like a little kitty cat. And that's what Max Holloway's on right now. And that's a dangerous type of mentality to have in the fight game. And then they're enabling it. They're making it so much worse and magnifying it and enabling it. How many times did Max Holloway fight Volkanovski? It was like 7 times. And then he did the same thing with Poirier. Now he's going to try to fight Tapuera 4 times. This ain't Fortnite, homie. Fool thinks he's in the Ultimate Fortnite Championship. Paddy Pimblett is displaying himself like a savage right now, like Gaethje. He's saying, I want to fight. I want to fight like in the old days. I want to fight like in the 1990s type of UFC. I want to have 3 fights in a night. 2 minimum. 2 fights minimum. That's what he's looking for. And for the first time ever when I read that today, I felt a little bit of respect for him for the first time ever. And I threw up in my mouth a little bit right now. I threw up in my mouth a little bit right now when I said that out loud. Because I've never liked Paddy Pimblett. But I was reading this article. And it says, along with the undisputed UFC gold, the former Cage Warriors champion recently revealed another dream of his. Says he'd love to fight like they did back in the 90s. He says the Ultimate Fighting Championship began in 1993 with a one-night tournament format. At UFC 1, we saw Royce Gracie fight and win 3 times in one night. There was a script, but whatever. When there were no gloves, hardly any rules, and no time limit. Stupid ads, man. Oh my gosh, I just closed another one open immediately. I've always wanted to do a one-night tournament, always, Pimblett revealed, but now it doesn't happen. I wish they would. I wish they do a tournament. I'd love to have 3 fights in one night or even just 2, but they just don't do it anymore. It's just unheard of. Pimblett said of one-night tournaments where fighters compete multiple times. Dan Henderson, who was in that podcast with him, said... And Dan Henderson, by the way, won 3 fights in the year 2000 to win a title in Japan. So he knows what that's all about. And Dan Henderson said it would be nice for them. They could easily do it. It might not happen in America, but other countries would allow it. Henderson said, I don't know why they wouldn't do it here. That's kind of how they do it in the Ultimate Fighter. They only have 2 rounds, possible 3. So that's what I just wanted to give it to you straight, what was said by Pimblett himself. Wilson Mitchell! ¡Viva la raza! ¡Viva la raza! Wilson Mitchell. How do you do it every day? How are you doing? The official laundering channel of MMA. How do you do it, Wilson Mitchell? How do you... Bro, I need to get on your level. Wilson Mitchell. This is unbelievable. Unprecedented. Viva la raza. You know, I'm on that quantity over quality trajectory. Quantity over quality. But Wilson Mitchell's coming in here nothing but pure Colombian quality. In mass quantities. He's not skimping on either. Wilson Mitchell's on that Paddy Pimblett mindset. He's saying, give me all of them in one night. You can stream 3 times? I'm going to keep dropping. I'm going to keep throwing down for you. I don't understand it. Wilson Mitchell is an eccentric billionaire. And he's giving back to the world little by little. Wilson Mitchell is an eccentric billionaire. What do they call the people that help out people a lot? Anthropologist. Wilson Mitchell is an eccentric billionaire anthropologist. My goodness. My goodness. And I said I might have to dip early today because I got to go pick up one of my kids. And Wilson Mitchell already came in here and paid for the whole stream. He already paid the rental for the dojo. Thank you, Wilson Mitchell. My goodness. My goodness. Everybody's showing love. Everybody's showing big love to Wilson Mitchell, and I love it. I don't see any other communities like this. I don't see any other communities like this. Everybody else will be hating. Everybody else will have something dumb to say, something petty. They will just let it go, dismissive, ignore it. Everyone hears that. It's Wilson Mitchell's birthday. Everyone just showing love. Thank you so much. Oh, I gotta screenshot that. Oh, I can't repeat it. And I'm pretty sure you know who you are and what you said. But I can't repeat it. I wasn't expecting to see that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is Wilson Mitchell Batman? Pfft. He is to me. He is to me. I sent out that upload signal came in his email, his notifications. I sent out the Wilson Mitchell signal. Wilson Mitchell says we are all in this together. Thanks, Dojo. Hey, that's the way I've been asking you guys to look at it for the longest. I clearly cannot do this by myself. It's not about, unfortunately, as dumb as that sounds, it's not about talent. It's not about skill. It's not even about effort. It's not about determination, consistency. I've been learning nonstop. None of those things matter. I'll see people not upload for 3 months and then they upload and it gets 1,500,000 views. What I'm saying is, it is 100% you guys, whether it's through financial support or simply showing up of your own volition when the algorithm doesn't even inform you. You just show up because you feel like it. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is very interesting. Oh, she better bring that pizza home. Oh, what the heck? Oh, she better bring that pizza home. I hate it when I'm trying to find out. I need to see if Marilena is gonna be able to pick up one of our kids. And I was trying to see where she's at right now. And I hate it when when I think she's somewhere, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna bring some food. And then she's like, no, I was at the place next door. And then I just have to warm up some hot links. So look, Paddy Pimblett, and it's very interesting. Again, the timing. And I can't help but remind you, I mean, like, it puts me in a very difficult situation. When I say something, when I put something out into the atmosphere that nobody has been saying. I'll say something that that's the thing, and people got to understand that. Because again, it's always the vast minority, but I had a couple people over the last few days, oh, you're crazy, you think Charles Sundin knows who you are? I need you to put more proof together. I'm like, well, I can't trouble myself with that. I know what's what. But the thing that people don't seem to understand, it's not like we're all just talking about the same thing. It's that it's something that nobody is ever talking about. Ever. Not even a little bit. And then I say it, and then everybody starts talking about it. That's the thing. That's the weird thing. And that's what people need to cling on to. It's not just like, well, yeah, for everybody, it's a little bubble. Everybody's going to talk about the same thing. Well, yeah, they will. They will. After I mention it first. After I conceive it. I started saying, nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this. Everybody these days, again, when I say that, I'm excluding MMA truthers. I'm excluding Mexican martial artists. But when you see the masses out there in the comment sections, forums, Reddit, whatever, people have gone soft. UFC fans have gone soft. They show up to watch a fight. They show up for that human cockfighting, for that brutality. And then they start crying, stop the fight! My voice is still changing. I informed you about a week ago I started going through second puberty. And I'm a little bit concerned that it hasn't gotten better. And it may have something to do with the fact that I shout for 3 hours a night. I'm not sure. But possibly. And I've thought about it when I'm not streaming and I'm just doing something else. I've thought about it. Why do I yell so much? And then I got mad at myself. Because I thought for me to be able to talk about the kind of topics that I talk on here without any yelling, without the raising of my voice, without any passion, it would be disrespectful to you. I cannot approach these things apathetically, indifferently. This is important. And I burn a lot more calories when I do it this way. Because I don't have time to work out anymore. So how do I stay like this? I don't know. It's the shirt. Have you seen those stupid commercials where they act like the tight shirts make the dudes look better? And it actually backfires because you can see they look like like when you eat like a sausage and it has casing and then it just kind of puts all their meat together and it looks kind of funky. That's what those shirts make them look like. What do they call? True Fit or whatever? I think they look funny. It just kind of, now look, if you wear a True Fit shirt, I'm not trying to hate on you. If you wear a True Fit shirt and you pull it off, cool. But I'm saying there's these dudes that are putting it on like if it's what are those things the ladies used to put on? Like a corset. And it just makes their body look like a little sausage. And it's just kind of like packaging everything. It's the shirt. It's the shirt. If you want to look swole. Anyway, what I was saying was the thing that's frustrating to me, the reason that I get heated, the reason that I get worked up is because they look like a sack of potatoes, a schmedium. It's because, thank you, Cue Ball, thank you. It's because I'll conceive something and I'll be very proud of it. And then I'm just seeing all my little children out there without my consent just being adopted by all these other content creators with no nods whatsoever, with no credit whatsoever. Somebody's in my PayPal. Somebody is in my PayPal. I'm gonna feel it that tonight's gonna be a good night. Bro. ARJR 721. And this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time he's been in this range. Homie out here taking half-court shots. ARJR721 just dropped $150 in the PayPal. $150 big ones in the PayPal. 150 big ones. My goodness. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. You guys have been on a roll lately. You guys, I'm starting to think that I never had to sell cars. I wasted 2 years of my life talking about people's credit scores, getting proofs of residence, going on. You know how many test drives I went on? You know how car sick I get when I'm not the one driving? I went on so many test drives. I hate Teslas. I went on so many Tesla. I never felt like I was going to throw up more than going on a Tesla test drive. When you're in a Tesla and you're not the one driving, oh man, I thought I was going to throw up all over the car. And of course, it was a Tesla. And one time it was in a Plaid. And they were going like 300 miles per hour on the 41. I wasted 2 years of my life. I got these ridiculously supportive people in here. $150 big ones. I appreciate you. Thank you. You know why I didn't do this before? It's because I'm proud of my breakdowns. It was an artistic thing. It was 100% an artistic integrity thing. I'm very proud of my breakdowns. I don't care how many subs other channels has, how many views. I'll put my breakdowns against anyone's views ever and say my videos are better. I don't care. I don't care if they get 50 views and you get 2 million. Ha! Try to make what I make. I'm so proud of those videos. No one could touch them. And when I got to the point where that was not sustainable and I couldn't make those even once a week, I thought, I'm not going to scale back and stream. I'm not going to do that kind of bum content and just expect to hold people's attention just coming on here and riffing off the beanie. I owe them more. I got to research. I got to write scripts. I got to take time shooting. I got to edit. I got to get B-roll. I got to Photoshop. I got to Photoshop Adesanya's chesticle. You know how much time I spent looking at that fool's nipples on Instagram? On Instagram too. On Photoshop? Do you understand how much time I spent looking at Conor McGregor's uncut gems? When I made that video that nobody watched, by the way. All the people missing my breakdowns where I edit stuff and I do a bunch of cutaways and all that. I made one. When Conor showed his Pedro Pascal. When Conor McGregor revealed his Pedro Pascal online. I made a video like that. Nobody watched. I don't think it even got to double digits. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm not just going to sit here and, okay, what else? What else do you guys want to talk about? I thought that was bomb content. But every time I would do it, I had enough people that said, hey, bro, keep doing it. And I would always think about listening to Kill Tony, listening to The Golden Hour, listening to The White Files, listening to Mr. Ballin. And I would think, you know what? I would hate it if they took their channels away from me. If they want me to go on and stream, I'll stream. I owe that to them. These dudes that are hanging around even after I've been gone for like 2 years and they're still there, I owe that to them. And people are showing up now. Bro. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Joshua Phillips just threw down 25 big ones in the PayPal. This is insane. I mean, this is a community of people that always feel like they're getting ripped off by ESPN Plus, by pay-per-views. We're always having to shout out all this money. And people are just going, here. I don't take that lightly. It's not lost on me. I know this community is always getting ripped off. And these people are going, here you go. Here's some more. Thank you, Joshua Phillips. Jairo GM, I'm hungry. I don't know what to eat. Give me a suggestion. I'm not going to lie. Lucas Tracy and the newer streamer aren't as funny. They were C-list replacements in your absence. I still need to watch Lucas Tracy. I started watching MMA Joey, and I'm telling you, that's my guy. I love that dude's channel. I'm hooked. Lucas Tracy, I haven't really dove into those waters yet. The newer streamer, I'm not sure who the newer streamer is. Lucas Tracy and the newer streamer. Is that his channel's name? The newer streamer? Connor lives on a boat. He stays in international waters. Bro! Wilson Mitchell says, keeping up with PayPal. I'm keeping up with PayPal. He's keeping up. We're doing a dono war. I would never encourage that. I would never discourage it. Wilson Mitchell says, I'm keeping up with the PayPal. Bro, I love it. I love it, bro. Oh my gosh. Whatever happened to the We Out Here podcast? Okay, so I actually don't know. So thank you very much, Wilson Mitchell. Thank you. For those of you who remember, there was a podcast that I would come on pretty regularly. It was called the We Out Here MMA podcast, and it was these 3 dudes, and I would come on with them, and I used to watch their podcast long before we ever communicated. I kind of just discovered them how I discovered MMA Joey, and I was like, these guys are hilarious, and they have a crazy chemistry. And I just genuinely enjoyed their videos. And then they were a super little channel, and I wanted to, and at the time, my numbers were like so good, and I was doing better. And I was like, you know what? I want to like be an encouragement. I want to like start commenting on their channel, subscribe, show them some love. And they started responding to my comments, and then they saw my channel, and they're like, hey, bro, we like it. You want to collaborate? And I was like, for sure. And I started doing some podcast appearances with them, and it was all good. We got along really well. And then I don't think I'm saying anything secret here. They asked me a couple times, maybe a few times, to come out to LA and maybe do something a little bit more significant, something in person. And honestly, I've had a lot of problems that I've been very open with you about in regard to stuff like that, whether it was anxiety or, you know, whatever. And honestly, even just to travel, it's not the easiest thing. I know it sounds pathetic, but it's not the easiest thing to just up and go, 8-hour round trip and possibly have to stay somewhere. And I couldn't get it to work out. And, that could have maybe turned into something else. I was even kind of unofficially invited to a Bobby Lee show one time. And I don't know if that was a joke. Because you know how I was acting all offended about that one time that he was saying when Bobby Lee was trolling me. The dude Gilbert, which is one of the dudes on the We Out Here MMA, he's like, hey bro, next time he's in LA, like you're there, you could go to the show. And I was like, oh cool. But then again, I never followed up on it. And anyway, long story short, Gilbert actually did a great job of like staying in touch with me, and we talked a few times, after the last appearance that I did on their thing. And then I think he got married or something, and then I was that's when I started working and things got all crazy and we kind of lost touch a little bit. But literally just today, they have a new podcast that's doing crazy good. And they're getting like super famous people on there, and they're getting fighters on there. And like, I think like some UFC referee or something was like, they're getting a lot of people on there. It's called the Casuals MMA or the Casuals Podcast or something like that. But before that, it was called like Oos Media or something. And we were talking about doing something together on that. And honestly, I feel like I kind of dropped the ball on that. Because they were asking me to, basically they were asking if I wanted to have a part in like being on the team and writing stuff for them. And I was already struggling big time to find the time to write stuff for my own channel. And when it came down to it, it was either or. I was going to have to jump in now full time and probably not have enough time to do my stuff. Or I had to pass on it. And then I think I just stalled a little bit too long and it kind of fizzled out. But I got nothing but love for them. I think those dudes are the coolest. I had a fantastic chemistry with them. I think they're hilarious. And I'm so glad to see like they're thriving. Cause I remember I felt like I was one of the first ones to see what they were doing and be like, this is gold. Like keep doing this. I love this. Nobody was watching them, and it was insane because they're very talented. Tarito, have some more, Grandmaster. Sing Below the Beanie. Below the Beanie. Below the Beanie. Don't be a weenie. Watch Below the Beanie. Thank you, Tarito. Yeah, I mean, something about, I mean, it's smart. It's in that zeitgeist, you know? The word casual in the MMA community, it's like there's like, what's bigger than that? The word casual is like as famous as the name Conor McGregor within the MMA community. It's thrown around so much. It's a genius name to put into your branding. Is Gilbert cool? Gilbert was inhumanly cool with me. So obviously I knew who Gilbert was because I've been watching Tiger Valley for years. And when I started doing the We Out Here MMA, I was nervous. I was like a little starstruck. But and they all three of them were like that. But I know you're specifically asking about Gilbert because he's the one that like people know. Could not be a cooler dude. Like everything that you would hope he'd be if you met him. Like no kind of, you would just think that he's, you know, just another dude, that he doesn't do a podcast with one of the most famous podcasters and comedians ever. You know, you would think he's just a normal dude. Super cool. So I don't know. I'm probably going to get a text. Oh, hold up. Someone else just came through on PayPal. Oh my gosh, bro. I just want to say thank you very much to Jane Caulfield, if that is your real name. I just want to say thank you to Jane Caulfield for dropping 30 big ones in the PayPal. That is straight up blue collar, hardworking, sweat of the brow, food truck earnings right there. And I'm living vivaciously through you right now, Jane Caulfield, because you know I wanted to start a food truck. You knew I wanted to start a food truck, and you did it anyway. I think you were doing it long before, but still. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that. I know how unruly people could get in a food truck line. So I know you earned that money. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And I kind of want to honor you and continue the circle of life and spend that $30 on a food truck, but I won't. I'm going to make sure I can make my car payment with it. Because that's the more responsible thing to do. At least that's what Marilena tells me. Yeah, Wilson. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. I want to make sure I talk about my second point with you before I have to depart. Stipe Muchacho. Now, I was looking through the news today. First of all,
thanks for the sub.
There may be some changes coming up on all of a sudden. I think I'll ask you after this. I'll bring it up after because I don't want to get distracted right now. But as far as topics, I was looking up what I wanted to talk about today. And I thought there are only going to be so many more, unfortunately. And it's scary. It's a sad thing to acknowledge. But I realized there are only going to be so many more opportunities that we have to talk about Stipe Muchacho. That's just the way it is. He's not in the fight game anymore. There's a very limited amount of opportunities that we're going to have to utter the name Stipe Muchacho. Now, of course, we could bring it up here and there in maybe less organic ways, but he is in the news today. Stipe Muchacho has to pick up job as a photographer for the Cleveland Browns. As you can see right there, he is being assaulted from the rear. And his muscle memory reflections have already left him. He's just standing there, helpless, holding a camera. Completely vulnerable. No situational awareness whatsoever. He's become like one of those dudes online. Like when there's a situation, everyone's like, oh, you just gonna hold the camera? You're not gonna go do something? You're not gonna help? You're not gonna jump in there? You're not gonna stop it? You're just gonna put this on World Star? That's Stipe Muchacho now. Now, before you think, wow, what a reach. You came across some random photo because Stipe Muchacho is a Cleveland Brown supporter. That's his city. That's his football team. He likes it. He's a fan. He's earned, his days off and vacation. He just got a camera. He just got a nice big old lens from B&H, and he's proud of it. He wants to go get some snapshots, and you have to make some fake news out of it? No, chale. Stipe Muchacho just got hired as a photographer for the Cleveland Browns. Let that sink in. Melancholy. It does happen sometimes. So, the whole time that Stipe Muchacho was fighting, he was a fireman. It's like he was fighting in imagine if there was a dude. Did they ever do this? I don't know if that was ever allowed. I mean, I know people hop around, but like simultaneously. Was there ever a fighter that fought in Pride and the UFC like at the same time? Like I have a fight this month in UFC, and then in a month and a half I have one in Pride, and then in 3 weeks I have one in UFC? Or was it always like one or the other? I don't remember, honestly. But when Stipe was in the UFC, he was basically fighting like two promotions. He was a UFC fighter and he was a firefighter. That fool never stopped. But there was a difference when he was fighting fires. It was like honorable. People thought that is a hero right there. This fool is basically a police officer that doesn't get shot at. This guy he's an actual hero. No CGI necessary. So when they saw him doing that side quest, when they saw him having to moonlight as a firefighter, they let it go because it's a cool thing. It's a nice thing. He wants to do right by his community. But this is not the same. This is not a lateral move. This is like Walmart greeter type of stuff right here. A lateral move for Stipe Muchacho right now is Waterboy. Stipe Muchacho straight up Bobby Boucher right now. He's going to be on the sidelines either way. He's going to be holding a Nikon. He's going to be holding a camera, or he's going to be holding a jug of water. And in case you're getting it twisted, I am not clowning on Stipe Muchacho right here. I'm not making fun of him. I'm exposing the UFC for what it is. The ultimate fighting cheapskates. Tarito, I know. Stipe Muchacho thought for a sec it was JBG. Oh no. In more ways than one. I don't even know which way you're going with that, Tarito. I don't even know in which way that you're inferring. But it works. I don't even know in which way, but it works. You got football players, you got baseball players, you got NBA players, you got tennis players, you got golf players. They get to sit around and ride on the golf cart. You know how fun that is? They get to sit around, ride on the golf cart. They have people that carry around all the heavy stuff for them. They get the cool jackets. And when these dudes retire, they are done. They're done. And they could do whatever they want. They could go on vacation. They basically, whether they do or not, and I'm not going to pretend that I know, maybe some sports do, or they have their version of it, or maybe it's a different word, and maybe some don't. But it doesn't matter because they got paid so much, that they don't ever have to work again, ever. But this is not the case with UFC fighters. We see them constantly having to separate their interests. When you have a job, your manager, your boss, they don't care what else you have going on. They don't care that you have kids. They don't care that you're married. They don't care that you have dreams and you have all these other things that you want to pursue. They don't care that you're having car problems. They don't care that there was traffic. When you have a job, your employer is serious. Your employer wants that to be your priority, your main focus, as ridiculous as it may seem. You might be a dude that just returns the carts back to the store at Home Depot. You don't even know nothing about the wood. You don't even know where the paint's at. You're just the dude that returns the carts, right? Which, no disrespect, I've actually thought, man, that's a sweet job right there. You don't even got to talk to any customers. You just push the carts back in. So that's not what I'm pointing out here. What I'm saying is that you could have a position that seems so like, I could miss a day. I could check out a little bit, right? But no, your employer, your manager at whatever respective place you're at, when you are employed by them, that's got to be your whole life. They don't want to hear nothing else. That's the most important thing to them. And they want to know that you are available and you're going to show up and you're going to do what you're supposed to do. They don't care that you're a UFC fighter. So when you're a UFC fighter and you got another job, you got to do both of them 500%. There is no cutting corners. There is no saying, yeah, but well, I'm Conor McGregor though. Hey, Papa John's, I'm Conor McGregor though. So can you cut me some slack? No, fool. No, fool, make that pizza. I don't care who you think you are when you clock out of here. Right now, you're Conor McPizza. So what I'm saying is, we see fighters all the time that have to divvy up those interests, and they have to be 500% fighter, 500% pizza maker at Papa John's. It's not 99% fighter and 1%. No, you got to put everything everywhere. And we're so used to that. Unfortunately, we've gotten numb to it. It's become so typical. But now we're seeing it even after their careers. And some of you might be saying, bro, he's just living his best life. He likes this football team. This is his hobby. Chill out. I would agree with you if he wasn't getting paid to do it. One of the dudes that was side by side with him with a camera of his own was talking to the football players, introducing him, saying that's his protege. And he's showing them the ropes. Stipe Muchacho is not just showing up like a fan with some time on his hands because he got a cute little camera and he wants to get some snapshots for his Facebook. It's a job. And I need to make sure, and I need to repeat myself over and over again. Over and over again. I'm not clowning on Stipe Muchacho. I think it's messed up. I wish Stipe Muchacho could go in there and do it for free because he loves it. Cool. But he's doing it as a job. Why should he have to do that? Now imagine if Dustin Poirier, this chair's driving me crazy. Imagine if Poirier retires, right? And no, that's a bad example. Imagine if bro, you know what? That's like what so many fighters are doing. I've been thinking of so many different examples, and that's what they're doing. That's why all these MMA, you got all these MMA talking heads popping up that are former fighters. And it's like they gotta keep the money flowing. You got people like, who's the dude that does the podcast with Big John McCartney? You got that dude. You got Mighty Mouse. You got Triple C. You got Usman. When he was basically, I think everyone thought he was basically retired. You got Matt Brown. You got like everyone's, and then people are starting to do it on their way out. You got Volkanovski doing it. You got Jamal Hill doing it. Adesanya started doing it. Like, I didn't even realize it till now. They're already trying to find their exit plans because it wasn't enough. You don't see a bunch of NFL players. I mean, you'll see some people that didn't do things right. People that made some mistakes. People that took some left turns like Gilbert Arenas. You'll see him having to make all these YouTube videos. But you're not going to see Michael Jordan starting a YouTube channel. That's not how it happens. And I agree. Wilson Mitchell. And that's why I'm speaking of the realities of it. When you have a job, it's for real. You can't go and play employee because this other thing's your actual dream. It's got to be that is your priority when you're there. There's a dude I used to listen to a lot when I was in car sales, and he would always say, you got to, be where your feet are. Don't days off. Don't be daydreaming. Don't be thinking about this and that. Be where your feet are. This is your priority right now. And then when you're home, be where your feet are. Stop thinking about work. Be a family dude. Be present. And then when you're back at work, you are all work, all business. So I agree with that. Let me send this text message real quick. I don't think I might have to dip out anymore. So as of right now, this is just another fighter, just another example of somebody that, I mean, and no matter what happened, he probably shouldn't have come back. And maybe it's like what Volkanovski said. Maybe it's what Cowboy Cerrone does. If it was about the money, cool. I'm with you, Stipe Muchacho. Cool. If it's about putting food on the table and providing for your family like jobs are supposed to be, cool. But other than that, Stipe Muchacho basically did John Jones a favor by coming back to fight him. He did not have to do that. He did not have to do that after the beating his body had already taken through all those defenses, through the age he's at, the point in his life that he was at, different injuries, his eyes, his nice haircut. All the different stuff that he'd been through, he did not have to come back and do that. He did John Jones a favor. And now John Jones could say it on paper, that he beat the greatest UFC heavyweight champion of all time. Stipe Muchacho gave that to John Jones. And even after having that title, even after being the greatest heavyweight UFC champion of all time, he's still having to go out there and side quest. No pension, no big enough earnings that he could just... It's disappointing. Do you think Jake Paul would have paid him better? Be where your beanie is. Look, I want to ask you guys something. I'm kind of tiptoeing. I'm on the tightrope right now. And I may be shooting myself in the chancla a little bit. And this may be similar to what I did in the past, where I wanted to make videos that I thought were the best kind of quality for you. And that was all I wanted to do. And because of that, I stepped back and then I just stopped making videos because I thought I'm going to give them the best or I'm going to give them nothing. So when I've been doing this all of a sudden, this new thing lately, I'm wanting to come to you with topics. I'm wanting to come to you with something to talk about. I don't want to just ramble incoherently for 2 hours with no direction. I want to respect your time. But what I also want to make sure that I'm doing is interacting with you. The funnest part of these streams for me is when I can really get in the weeds and interact with you. And when I have 2 or 3 different topics, it really cuts a lot of that interacting time out and makes it less possible. So I could extend the stream like we did yesterday and just chop it up and talk after the fact. But I'm just trying to find out what makes the most sense. So you let me know if you can right now. I have to at least have one topic. There may be some of you saying, don't even do topics, let's just chop it up. I cannot do that. Even for the purpose of just being able to have a clip after the fact, I have to at least have some kind of topic that I talk about. But I want to ask you, it's either 1 or 2. Please put a 1 in the chat. Please put a 1 in the chat if you like having like 3 different topics. And that way I'm actually spending time talking about actual stuff happening in the UFC and the MMA community. And it's not like just, okay, what did somebody type now? It's just like I'm coming at you with stuff that's actually happening. I'm breaking news for you. I'm giving you my take on it. And then we're chopping it up a little bit in between and mostly after the fact. Or number 2, I come to you with like 1 topic and then we're just chopping it up and I spend more time in the chat. So it's 1 or 2. 2 is way more time in the chat and just interacting with you. 1 is coming at you and giving you my takes on at like 3 different topics. So that's number 1. Number 2 is a lot more time in the chat. Please let me know how you feel. I want to make sure I'm providing something that makes sense for you. Oh, I see some 3s. What the? Okay. AquaB91, thank you. Thank you, AquaB91. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting. Letting us do another show. Why is my camera so crooked? Do you think if the UFC fighters still had their own sponsors like John Jones with Nike, we would be seeing less of this money gap? Absolutely. It is despicable how they've taken any and all power away from these human beings. It's like they just flat out own them and everything about them. So I'm seeing more 1s. I'm seeing a 5. I do remember you. Hey, you guys remember AquaB91? He says, hey, Grandmaster, I don't know if you remember me. I definitely do remember. He says, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the one a few weeks ago who was in the hospital with the messed up femur and knee. I'm out of the hospital now. I'm moving around on crutches. I believe I asked you to give us an update. And that means a lot to me that you remembered and thought of doing that. And I meant it. It is so cool. Like to just go back in time 2-3 weeks, whatever it was, and be like in the moment, oh man, that's messed up. This dude's in the hospital. He's not feeling good. That's terrible. I hope he starts getting on the other side of that real soon. And now we're here. You're out of the hospital. And you're moving around. That's amazing. Thank you for letting us know that. That's amazing. 2, maybe 1 on Friday or Saturday. Okay. You could have this all of a sudden as a neutral in the middle of it. Bro, I don't know. Like when I'm able to do this full time, and I could stream more hours in the day, it will be easier to chop up streams and have different formats like that, where one of them is just chat. That's what it is. One of them is just chat, and then the other one is topics, and the people come in knowing what to expect. And that way, after a while, maybe some people will just be like, I'm not going to show up for the chat ones, and vice versa. And then people know what they like, people know what they're there for, and they show up for the ones that make sense. So that could work. Guru Sis, no, they're not. And to be honest, I guess I haven't really made it that accessible to them. A while back, I was showing Jesse Jr. a bunch of old WWF fights, and we were watching like Kane versus Undertaker, and Royal Rumbles and stuff like that, classic stuff, Mankind, Hulk Hogan. But this new the new stuff, the new stuff's corny. But I was showing them that, but not really. Unfortunately, the UFC just does and says something. Sometimes they go off the cuff and you never know exactly what they're gonna say. And I'm kind of protective with the kids, so I don't really want to expose their ears to certain things in mass quantities. He got that leg lengthening surgery. What? Called the fire department. Stipe Muchacho came and got my 400-pound wife up and out of bed. What the? We got the Gilbert Grape in here. Yeah, David Flores, you want to hear what I'm listening to right now? I'm listening to the Reverend Al Green. I'm constantly listening to music in here because it kind of came into my consciousness somewhere within the last couple years that there may be a possibility. I'm not even gonna go into it. I function better when I have something going on constantly. If I would have just been in like dead silence right now, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd be freaking out. But when I could have something going on, like distracting the other part of my brain, then I'm okay. So I'm always, anytime you see these on, I'm a big old faker. I'm listening to Pandora or something like that. I'm actually listening to JRE right now. It's podcast Inception. Donovan Patterson, I'm late. Starting from the top. Do a sound check on that mic. Donovan Patterson, working hard out there. Training. Putting in that work. Respect. Thank you for letting us know. It's just like any dojo. There's rotating classes. People bow in and out of the mat at different times. I don't believe this one's gonna be as long as yesterday. It got a little bit crazy yesterday. But I appreciate that. I appreciate you. It's a lot of commitment starting from the top like that. So thank you. I don't even know if you're hearing me say this right now because you're starting from the top. I don't know if you already went back and rewinded it. Yeah, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Man, that movie gets me emotional. Man, oh my gosh. When he finds out, man, that movie gets me emotional. Hey, Beto. Magic Sam. I got to look into that. Magic Sam. That one evaded me. Do your kids ever call you Grandmaster? Nah, I don't get no respect. They call me grandfather, and I'm like, I get it. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there, but you're making us sound like a bunch of hillbillies. I get what you're doing, but your father cannot also be your grandfather, So you gotta stop saying that in public. Melancholy, yes. But I feel like I've been talking about that too much lately. And I feel like a lot of people talk about that kind of stuff because it feels like they just want attention or they just want an excuse for all the stupid things that they do. And I just don't want to sound like that. But I'm yeah. I think I might have to run some tests. Yeah. A mad genius. I have been called angry genius many times. Mexican Martial Army. Let me see here. What happened to the dude who broke up with his girl? I hope he's okay. That was Rashid. So Rashid was actually in the chat yesterday. And he was being very communicative. He was talking about, if I remember correctly, various topics. So he's still in here with us. He's still doing his thing. He's still hanging around. He seemed like he was in good spirits. Man, I can't see, man. I used to wear contacts, but I got the stigmatism. I got the flat eyeballs. So I have a hard time seeing the screen sometimes. Al Green is that baby making music. Hey, with a name like Let Me Get That, I know you know what baby making music is. Brother, I'm in the same boat. I just discovered I'm 33. Bro. Hey, Melancholy. Okay. It's funny. It's funny. As you get older, you start to be more aware of. Yeah. So what I've always wanted to ask somebody who was like in the know. When I've even considered something like that, I always think I can't take a test because the way I am, I'm going to be too aware of it. And that's going to affect the way I take the test. And if you're the same way as me, you probably get what I'm saying. Like, be very cerebral, you know? I feel like there's no way I could take it and it could be authentic because I'm just too aware. So I think, like, how could you ever get accurate results? It just doesn't make sense to me. So how do they know? I can't figure it out. It just seems like it would be a waste of time. Yeah, Beto, for real. That's why I'm like, I need to stop saying that, even though I feel like it's true. Al Green is that cookout music. Chinese food and MMA heels, bro. Love hurts. Chinese food and MMA heels. I need some Chinese food. When this is all over and we make that move and we can finally breathe, I'm going to eat some Chinese food. I ain't even going to look at the receipt. Life came full circle. I dusted watching you before I knew I was acoustic. Went through that process last year. Do the test. Speak your mind. Same. Okay. Well, I guess you just got to do it, right? You just got to do it. Okay. All right. That's all I needed to hear. Truth comes from age and experience. We're too aware for our own good. Yeah, we touched on that last night, didn't we? We've become sentient. I knew you would understand, Jordan. I knew you would understand. How you been dodging ice? Hey, they know where I'm at. Till I make the first move. I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you like Brian Callen. I'll meet you halfway. I auto-diagnosed acoustic. I think I found my people. Are we all having the same problem? Is that why we get along so well? You're on that same wavelength with me? There's new methods of testing where we do it when you're not aware of what exactly is part of the test. Okay. Are you the one performing the test, Angel Padilla? Did I just discover something? We do it where we do it when you're not aware? Are you an acoustic tester? Have you been testing me this whole time? I am in the Truman Show. This was all a test. Oh. Oh my gosh. How you just answered that question would be something they would take into account. It's all a piece of the puzzle, bro. They're like, we've met your kind before. Aurelio, how do you get accurate results? That's exactly why I don't go to therapy anymore. Too aware. That's what I'm telling you. Hey, I was telling Marilena back in the day because she was like, we were having some things and she was like, we should go to therapy. And I was like, bro, if we went to therapy, you would switch up so fast. You would switch up so fast. You would be acting all different. What's the point? I'm not going to spend $450 an hour just so you could go in there acting like your other polar. I ain't going to be spending money just so you could go in there and be playing the part. And then we get in the car and you just start laughing like a psycho. I ain't going to do that. That's a waste of time. I already know what you're going to do. And I'm going to be telling the person, this ain't how she acts. She's just putting this on for you. People are just too aware. I'm a special educator. Angel Padilla, I don't know if you meant, but you said it like such a punchline, like such a mic drop. You know what I have not had the time to deal with mentally, emotionally, spiritually? What I have not had the time to deal with, it has not even crossed my beanie. Because I'm an adult. And I've been an adult for a while. It never even crossed my beanie. If I had discovered this at a younger age, would I have been in that class? When I graduated, when I dropped out of high school, I had like a 0. I have the paper somewhere. Because nobody ever believes me. Nobody ever believes me. It was a 0.03. It was like something unheard of. It wasn't even a 1. It was a 0. Etc. I had like 4 no credits. I had no credits. I had Fs. It was insane. It's starting to make sense. we have tests. Oh man. Okay. Um um where was that? Where did he say that? I'm a special. Oh, bro. Oh, bro, you got me. You got me, bro. This is a test of the emergency mind control system. I found the wall. Oh, man. Hey, Angel, have you ever heard of the Ark? Have you ever heard of the Ark? I actually, you know what's weird? It might have been a weird, like, unconscious connection or relate. I actually had, I know it sounds weird, but I've actually always had a desire to help individuals in those types of situations. And that was one of the places I applied when I was right before I got hired into the car industry, and then I had a job right away because they hired so fast. But I've always had like a heart for that. And I think I have the disposition to be able to like be empathetic in those types of situations. And that's crazy, like full circle. You have too much empathy, kind of like Brad Pitt on an Interview with the Vampire. Talk therapy isn't good for acoustic folks. We don't have a hard time with knowing what's going on. We have a hard time identifying. No, I know you did it, Angel. It was just like. It was good. It was good. I know how you are, Marilena. Jim explaining what. Hey, I thought it was an airtight. I had an airtight case. Angel has us all diagnosed already. He's been combing through us, man. I thought Angel was like a nutritionist. I thought you did like nutrition or something like that. That's a good way to look at it, Marloca. And I wish I would have found out that way before I ever entered geometry. I never found what my learning method was. Now I manage a bank. School isn't for everyone, bro. That's a big responsibility right there. Do you calm down when you take Adderall? You know what? I've never taken anything. I don't take anything ever. Like the hardest thing I've ever taken was Benadryl. But I always make the comment every time I drink coffee, which is supposed to amp you up and get you like all woken up. I drink coffee and I swear it makes me feel like somebody drugged me and I'm gonna take a nap. Every time I drink coffee, I feel super tired, but I just keep drinking it because I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. I would highly encourage you not to overlook this aspect of yourself, man, because there's a lot of truths you can find out about yourself. No. I'm gonna be honest with you. There have been conversations with me and Marilena where she's trying to figure out why in the world I either did or didn't do something, or why I reacted to something a certain way, or why I didn't react to anything at all. Why I can't seem to socialize with other human beings without embarrassing her. So yeah, I get what you're saying. It's probably important. GM proving all the allegations. What's up, Julio? We're all over the place. We don't need a label for everything. We're just different. Yeah, we're a bunch of snowflakes in a good way, in a beautiful way. I know the snowflake thing has really been messed up and negativitized. Man, I like that. It's been negativized over the years, but snowflakes, it's beautiful. How do we mess that up? Snowflakes used to be a beautiful thing. The wordplay you do is very acoustic. It's all making sense. Are you a strong proponent of justice? Bro, get out of my beanie. What? Is that a thing? I have problems with that so bad. So bad. I remember a coworker was even trying to like take me aside and give me like some help and encouragement one time, because I was like the only one where we worked at the car dealership. And whenever the GM would act crazy, I'd be like, nah, fool, listen. Nah, we're not going to do things like that. That's disrespectful. You can't run things like this, and you can't treat that customer like that. And I heard what you were saying behind closed doors, and that's not right. I don't want to do business like that. And I heard you tell this person that about their day off, but it was actually like this, and that's not right. Can't you have some integrity? Like, I've always had problems when it comes to like if someone was done wrong, if something unjust has happened. Like, other than that, I'm cool. Like, I don't get riled up. But if like something unjust happened and it should be addressed, like, oh, bro. Like, if some teacher said or did something crazy, if it's in regard to one of my kids, or someone was mistreated or kind of overlooked or written off, it's like, nah. The ARC, it's what's the acronym for? It's the ARC of the United States is an organization serving people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Organization was founded in the 1950s by parents of people with developmental disabilities. So that's what it is. I don't know how far out it goes. There's a lot of them around the area where I live. I'm sure there's a bunch of different ones that have different names. Hey, we got the voice of reason. The voice of reason just cleared it all up for us. He just cleared it all up. I'm good. He does that too. He's a Renaissance man. Now, Angel, am I crazy? Jessica, am I crazy? Because I remember he used to do two things. One of them was a nutritionist. I thought the other one was he was like a PE teacher or like a physical trainer or like a physical therapist or something like that. So then when he said special ed teacher and nutrition, then I was like, all right, I guess those were the two things. I thought it was something like PE or physical something. How many jobs does this dude have? This dude's ambitious. Bro, they had me taking pre-cal when I was still counting with my fingers. Marilena always gives me such a hard time. Like when I leave a tip, I'm a good tipper. Like when I leave a tip, and I started to get self-conscious about it, and I started to be slick, and I'll be like this under the table, and she tells me, "You're doing it again, aren't you?" I always have to count with my fingers. Cause like if I have a bill and it's like $61.97, and I want to leave like a $15 tip, then I'm like, okay, I already forgot what number I said. 61.57. So I'll be like, okay, 61 plus 10. Wait, 15. So that's gonna be 71, and then I got 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 6, so 76. But then the 97 throws me off. And then I just put, see, this is going to take too long. But I still use my fingers. That business failed. No one listens and got mad that they didn't lose weight. I'm sorry, bro. Believe me, I know what it feels like for something you're trying to pursue to not work out. Believe me, that was my last 2 years of life, just feeling like a failure out there trying to sell cars. But that's gotta be a tough industry, because people always want that, they want that magic pill, that magic secret. And they're like, give me the magic thing so I could go and do what I want. And you're the magic man, right? You got to fix it. I'm paying you to make me look better. And then they go eat a cheeseburger. And then maybe they don't see the results fast enough. And they're like, why am I even doing this? And then they go have the cheeseburger. And it's like, all right, I'll start again on Monday. And then there's no catching up. It just snowballs. And then they act like it's your problem. That's messed up. Yeah, same. I take coffee to chill. See, what the heck? How do I eat donuts all day and still lose weight, Angel? You sound like his typical customer. That's what they were trying to do. Look, Ryan Holiday, I was looking this up, and apparently there's something called AUDHD, AUDHD, where you have overlapping symptoms. Because I was like, I know, when I was doing research, I was like, I strongly believe it has something to do with both of them. And I was looking them both up. And I was like, it has to be. It has to be. Because they're both like, yes. And then I found there's apparently a thing where they overlap. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be everything if I keep reading. I'm just going to be everything. So I'm going to stop reading. Dang it. I see that melancholy. Dang it. Yeah, that's... Imagine me working in the car industry and having issues with making sure, justice is served in an industry like that. Tarinto, this is not a therapy session. Connor McNuggets. Of all the people, imagine the things going on in that fool's dome. Yeah, it kind of amazes me with everyone. It kind of amazes me everyone isn't like that with morals and justice. We live in that time. We live in that time where everybody decides, their own righteousness, what's right and what's not, and, whatever titillates them. It's just, it's insane. Bunch of, we're in a hedonistic culture. What's up, Ryan Doyle? I'm glad that you're here. At Connor McPeak's, you'll need therapy afterwards. Modern Loca and Angel, I was actually thinking about possibly hitting up the Arc after I make my move here. What I've been, I don't want to get into too much detail on here, but what I've been doing lately is it's taking a toll. The lifestyle of sales is a brutal lifestyle, and it's not for everybody. Hard worker. X-Ray 8492, what's up? Do you have any hobbies or a couple things you're obsessed with? It's work. I hate to admit it. I am absolutely a workaholic. And it affects things. Marilena hates it because when she wants to be chilling in there and just, watching HGTV or something like that and talking about whatever, I'm watching videos how to grow on YouTube, how to optimize your YouTube description, how to use better SEO, how to make better thumbnails, how to do this and that, how to get better watch time, how to work the algorithm, cutting up videos that I made every night when I've been doing these streams. You've been seeing the clips come out after. So as soon as I'm done with these, I'm sitting here playing back chunks of it, just trying to find the right moments, cutting them up, exporting them, uploading them, finding the right title for that, right description for that, making a thumbnail for that, uploading that takes forever. Then I go back to the stream that I just did, find another clip because I want at least 2, maybe 3, do the same thing with that one. Then, I got to make shorts. That's a whole other algorithm. Then I make shorts. Never, ever stop. So I obsess over work. just like bad. And I hate it. I feel like I wouldn't have to do that as bad if I were more steady and I wasn't as stressed out about the Bills. Give me the pills. Better Call Saul, Magic Man. I watched that whole series. I'm trying to remember which one Magic Man is. Better Call Saul, Magic Man. I'm trying to get a description of which episode this was. Doing business, I saw go with Jimmy Bell's orthodontist try to recline development test kid. Bro, I feel like I don't remember that one at all. If I remember correctly, how many seasons were there? Like 6? Better Call Saul. Oh, there were 7. That's why I don't remember. Oh, they were wanting the 7th one. There were 6. I watched Better Call Saul. Like, I binged it. And then when I got to like season 4 and 5, I started to just kind of get disinterested for whatever reason. And then I didn't watch. I took like a 2 or 3 year gap and I just didn't watch it. And then I watched the final season like way after it came out. So honestly, I forgot a bunch of it. I wanted to rewatch the whole series all over again. I've watched Breaking Bad like 4 times. Someone wanted to eat fries 5 times a week. I told him to leave. Yeah, that guy sounds like me. Oh man. Hey, Beto. I mean, it's just every experience is different. It's just like other YouTubers doing the same thing as me and they're finding their stride, you know? It just clicks at some point. So you just got to take your swing. AUDHD right here. Brother, found my people on accident. Bro! I just learned about that very, I didn't even know that was a thing. I just learned about that crazy recently. Wow. I knew some people that used to do something very similar, Ryan Holiday. Hey, is Brendan Schaub actually going to be on the Jackson podcast? Do they announce those things ahead of time? I like the Jackson podcast a lot. I kind of saw it for a while and I was like, I don't know, whatever. I've never like big on Rampage or anything like that. But then I started watching it and it was good. Oh man. So is Jessica and Angel watching from separate phones or how do you do it? I'm assuming they're on 2 devices because I get the impression that they are extremely supportive of the channel and they're trying to boost the algorithm on multiple devices. Plus, they have 2 different names, so they have to be on 2 different devices. See, that's what... Okay, he was way ahead of me. I'm so behind. I didn't even know I could scroll. SEO, search engine optimization. You're so fancy. I'm trying to be, but I look at it and it's like, well, I mean, I'm using. I hate it. I don't know if you've noticed. It feels so gross. I've been using Chat GPT for a lot of the titles and YouTube descriptions I've been doing lately, and it feels gross. And every time they give me a title, a description, or whatever, I always feel like, really? I could make a better one. And I'm like, you know what? I've been told to do this. I've been told it works. I'm just going to try it. But I've been using that a lot. I've been trying different things, and I feel like it hasn't been working. And I might stop. I don't know. I just felt like ChatGPT is like, you know, it's supposed to be like AI, you know, like know the future and be all robotic and be like all best friends with Google and the algorithms, and probably, even though technically it's not as good or as clever as I feel like something I could come up with, it's like the machine knows what the machine likes. So I was just trying to trust it, but it's not going well. Wilson Mitchell, good night, bro. Good night. Thank you so much, Wilson Mitchell. I really appreciate you. Always. I don't understand you. You are a mystery to me, but I appreciate you. I just received a text message right now. Which is frustrating. But I understand it because, as most of you know by now, I'm going to be having to make a move here really soon. And apparently Marilena needs some of my assistance. And every single day I have every intention of coming on here and streaming earlier and earlier. And I keep failing, and I apologize for that. Tomorrow, I have every intention. I hope I succeed. I have every intention of tomorrow doing the first members only stream after the regular stream. I don't want to disrespect anybody. So I have every intention of coming on here and doing a stream earlier in the day tomorrow, and then immediately after going into the members only stream. That's my intention. I gotta manage my time better tomorrow. That's another thing, Melancholy. Whoo! We've had some wars over that one, me and Marilena, about my lack of time management. And I just tell her, hey, bro, you're a nerd, all right? You're a hall monitor. You're a dork. And she doesn't like when I say that either. It's a lose-lose. Anyway, I have every intention of doing better with my time tomorrow, starting with the stream earlier and then going into the members-only stream. So I hope you're able to meet me there. I hope you're safe out there. There was a lot of support tonight in different significant ways, financially, humorously, mentally, friendshiply, and I appreciate all of you. I absolutely love and cherish this community. I feel, and I've seen them, I've dug into them, and they're garbage. I feel like, I don't know how, I don't know why, but we have the absolute best community that I've encountered on YouTube. All the other ones, I hate to use the word because it's so overused, toxic and just ugly and awful and just weird. We have the best community. So thank you for being who you are and how you are. He's exposing Jessica was a choir nerd. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Jane Caulfield. It's okay. I was too, Jessica. I played the percussion. But I was out by like sophomore year, unfortunately, because of, being the way I was. Thank you, everybody. I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Please don't forget to like the video. It helps a lot. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts.